Peace and blessings, everybody, and happy Thursday afternoon to you. My name is Gerald Hassan, your personal healer and social health master life coach. And when I create videos, this is what I want you to understand. When I create what I do with Enlightened Minds Enterprise, period. Whether I'm on videos or whether I'm on stage or whatever, when I'm doing what I do, my whole aim, my desire, my purpose is to help decrease, alleviate, eradicate as much depression, disappointment, stress. Drama, all that is to alleviate, eradicate as much of that as possible in your life, while at the same time increasing the peace that's in it. And that's by equipping you, helping you attain the psychological tools that instinctively kick in and work to maintain and sustain all those different things that I just formally mentioned. And today I would like to speak to you about what I've titled In Times of Difficulty. In times of difficulty. So understand, we already know what we're dealing with right now. We're having some very, I would say, what's the word for it? Like unique times. This is something very new to us, at least for a lot of us. Probably have been living in the last, I would say, maybe 60 years or so, at least from my understanding, my knowledge, that this is, on the level that this is operating on, and from what I'm looking at and from what I'm hearing, it's definitely going to get worse. But don't panic. Main thing is not to panic. That's rule number one. Main thing is not to panic and never let them see you sweat. And so, here's one thing I really want to share with you. That there was a time in my own personal life. I remember when I was in the 4th grade, and I remember we had moved around so much in the 4th grade that when I got to probably the night school, I remember the principal kept me and my sister in the office, and she was like, "Baby, y'all all right? You okay?" And I'm a kid. I'm in elementary at this time, so I don't know really how to respond to that. I'm like, yeah, I think. Yeah. And so she was like, "I'm asking because this is the night school y'all have transferred to, And I'm like, I'm a kid. I don't even know what's the big deal, what, right? And so, in a way, we only stayed there about 3 weeks too, because she let us go back to our class and nothing happened, and that she just asked, it was a black principal too. So, in a way, from that time, that I remember from the 4th grade on out in my life very vividly, because that is really when all of the drama I recall happening in my life, and when my family had become displaced and everything just went down south, right? And so we moved around a lot. We stayed in many different places, Salvation Army, all this kind of stuff as a young person. And I remember there was a time in my life as I was older, I had become so, I guess you say, burdened with all of the pains and all of what I wanted, all of the failures, all of, just burdened with life being such a struggle, right? I was just burdened with life being such a struggle, life being full of so much pain, life being full of so much hate, life being full of so much, just in my perspective, all of the negatives at the time, right? And to the point to where I had clearly verbally made the statement that if this is all life is about, I don't want it. I don't even want to be here, And so I was on the brink of suicide. I was on the brink of death. I hate it like that much. I stay high every day in my way of trying to cope with life, right? And my way of not facing the difficulty and dealing with things. And you understand, and here's one thing I want you to understand about that experience is that I was only able to get out of that phase by the grace of God, first of all, and when I began to shift my perspective, when I began to see things differently. You understand? Because I'm so focused on what I don't have that I wasn't focusing on what I had. You understand? I'm seeing what everybody have, and I'm thinking life's supposed to be all glory and happy and playing with toys and this, that, and other. And I've never celebrated a birthday that I can recall. And so as I got older, it's just something that I make not a big deal about. But some people be like, let's celebrate, let's do this, that. But I don't even really know how to celebrate a birthday. You know what I'm saying? Not for my own anyway. I try to, I want to go see the world and probably go somewhere every year. But, that's my thing. So anyway, here's what I want you to understand is that it was only when I began to shift in the way I viewed everything, what I view about my personal life. You see, again, I stopped focusing on what I don't have. instead of focusing on what I have and the capability that I had and that I was blessed with, that I seen other people did not have. And that's when things got different for me. I want to read something to you. Allah said in the Holy Quran that, verily, we have created man into toil and struggle. Verily, we have been created to toil and struggle. And I remember a scripture in the Bible where it says that, and we were talking about Adam and Eve, where man was told, even in the Bible, that you would toil the earth for the rest of your days, right? And even when you think about with the woman in birth and how it was, how in the Bible it explains how she will always feel pain. You understand? But see, here's one thing I want you to understand. Here's one thing I want you to understand that I had to grow into the understanding of. Is that you understand the struggle, difficulty. The struggle and difficulty, they're the same. The struggle and difficulty is just a part of living. If you're not struggling, if you're not going through things, if you're not in a storm, you're headed to one or you just come out of one, if you're not being challenged, then you are not living. I'm saying not like living on a material level, having money and doing what all you want to do in life. I'm saying you are not alive. You are dead. You are in the earth, is what I mean. Just in case I'm not clear. Because one thing I had to really understand is that it don't matter where you are. It don't matter if you're in prison, if you're in the county, you out here, you're in the hospital, no matter where you are, you have some form of struggle. Do you understand? Think about this here. In the scripture, it says that we were born into toil and struggle. Think about it. I remember the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan explained how when the sperm goes into the woman, how it's millions of cells, right? It's millions of sperm cells. So these things are swimming to get to the egg, right? But only one make it. Many of them die off. So that was a struggle from, as a sperm. That was a struggle for the egg to grow. That was a struggle for the baby in the belly to form. That was a struggle for the baby to come into existence, to in the birth. That was a struggle for the baby to learn how to eat. It was a struggle for the baby to learn how to walk, how to crawl, how to talk, how to understand things. You know what I'm saying? That was a struggle going from one grade to the next. That was a struggle learning how to tie your shoes. It was a struggle learning how to put your clothes on correctly. I mean, listen. In every aspect of our development, there was a struggle. And the struggle is constant. You see, sometimes we don't mind struggling. The struggles that we have an issue with are the ones that seem to come that we didn't embark upon. It's like we didn't sign up for that struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like a house burning down, a house flooding out, the car breaking down, being on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? We didn't sign up for that kind of struggle, right? We didn't sign up for that struggle, right? But yet still, you see, the vicissitudes of life. These are things that you're going to come across whether you signed up or not. You know what I'm saying? Because with everything that you possess, there's a responsibility. And you see, carrying out that responsibility has struggle involved. And you see, that's what makes the responsibility itself a struggle. You understand what I'm saying? But here's the other side. You see, without the struggle, we would never see or realize or feel the beauty of the ease. We would, you see, without the difficult time, we wouldn't be able to feel the beauty of the ease. I'm trying to find something real quick. The other one was that I want. What did I say? Verily. Oh, okay. Here it is. Allah also tells us this here. He say, verily. Hold on. sorry. Okay, I don't want to waste too much time trying to find it. But Allah tells us in the Quran that with every difficulty, there's ease. He say, then it go, like, see, he said, here's one thing I want you to understand about the Quran. When I know not everybody Muslim, but just ride with me, because principles and truth is undeniable. Just ride with me and open your mind up a little bit. Allah tells us that verily with every difficulty there is relief. Then he come right back and say right in the next verse, verily with every difficulty there is relief. Therefore, I want to find that. I want to read it just as it is said. 90 something. It had to be 94 or something. Yeah, I think it's it. Verily, with every difficulty there is relief. Verily, with every difficulty there is relief. Therefore, when thou art free from thy immediate task, still labor hard until thy Lord turn all thy attention. Listen here. So even when, see, here's what we got it messed up. That whenever we're not going through something, whenever we get a big check, whenever we get, the stimulus package, whenever we get a bonus at work, whenever we find money, whatever it may be, we think that's the time to go buy stuff and go party. You see, the Lord tells us that even in times of ease, that's when you really grind. That's when you grind, because that's how you're able to be in front of the struggle. The struggle coming because it's constant. It's a part of living. But when we're not living in a surplus, the difficulty hits harder, right? It hits harder when it hits harder when we are already in a deficit. You understand what I'm talking about? You see, I ain't talking about just financially. I'm saying with our health. You see, I'm saying with our health. I'm saying with our education. I'm saying with all things you can think about. You know what I'm saying? That it hits harder when we're not already living at the best level that we can live on. I'm saying again, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, however. When we're not living on the best level that we can live on, when the difficulty strikes, it hits much harder. And it makes it that much difficult. But you see, a wise individual would say, you know what? I have to put myself in a situation where I don't feel it the same way, where it don't hurt me as much, where I'm not as concerned, where I'm not worried about this, that, and other, where the loss isn't as great, and so on and so forth. You see, the difficult times has a lesson involved. It lets you see where you are. It's a test. It lets you see where you are, but it's also a development. You see, in the dark is when you grow the most, right? You see, in the dark is when you grow the most. And in the fire is where a lot of that which you don't need burns off. You understand? Only the truth remains. Only that which is most valuable to you remains. You see, down in deep in the earth, right? Deep in the earth, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that deep within the earth, that Allah has instilled all of the most valuable resources of our universe, right? So to get these things, and maybe not just deep in the earth, but I'm saying I'm just talking about like uranium and oil and diamonds and things like that. You see, those things, they ain't just easily attainable. It takes some work to get it. You see, anything of value requires work, right? Anything of value requires work. So now let me get to this. I don't want to hold you up too long. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches in the lessons. I think it's the 21 lessons. He say, when one does not struggle to know, when one does not struggle to know, when one does not struggle to know, when one does not struggle to have, when one does not struggle to know, when one does not have to struggle to become successful, when one does not have to struggle, then in that stage of development, one becomes comfortable. You understand? So when we see people that's in a state of contentment, seemingly, right? How they on a level where they suffering, but they don't seem to want to do nothing about it. The people standing out at the stove, the people standing at the light, the people, and so on and so forth. When you have people, when you see these people, but all they want to do is take a handout. They want the free stuff. They don't want to work for it. They just want everything free, and they come up with all these different justifications of why they are privileged to these things. You see, these are individuals who don't want to face head on struggle. You see what I'm saying? And you see, this is where the real development comes. You can't circumvent struggle, because when you do, the dues you have to pay, because struggle, to face difficulty and struggle is a due you got to pay to get the things you really want in life. I'm saying, and whatever you feel is valuable. So when one try to circumvent that process, guess what? The dues are 100 times greater. And you lose all that which you had attained. And you can apply that on whatever you want to apply that with. So, but check this out. So he's saying, but another stage is coming, which will cause us to face difficulty again. And it is in the refusal to face the difficulty that accompanies change. You see, struggle, but anytime you want to be better, you want to have more, you want to whatever, you want to lose weight, you want to be whatever. There's a struggle involved. And here's the thing about struggle. We also can look at it, it's a sacrifice. A sacrifice is on the other side of every choice that's made. The greater the sacrifice shows the more how much more you value something. Just think about it. The greater, whatever it is you love so much, the greater the reason why you give it up. Because what's on the other side of that, what's on the other side of that sacrifice in you is way more valuable than what you presently possess. So they say that accompanies change, that leaves those in ease unwilling to struggle again. You see, the individual, they get to a point to where they program their subconscious in a way to where they don't never want to struggle no more. Automatically, you've programmed your subconscious to circumvent, to dodge, to not face difficulty. That whenever you run to difficulty of any sort to you, you run, you close the door, you block people, all these different things. You see, you don't try to develop yourself in a way to where, how can I deal with these individuals that frustrate me sometimes so much? You understand what I'm saying? And we have to get beyond a point, and let me say this in closing. Here's the thing. We have to first of all embrace struggle, know that it's a part of life. And see, we have been programmed to identify struggle as a bad thing. Struggle is a good thing. Difficulty is a good thing. It's the time when you'll get to able to prove who you are. It's the time that you're able to get to really prove, your faith. You say you believe in the supreme being, the most high God, Allah. You say you have faith in him. He's beautiful, he's good all the time, he's great all the time, he's the most greatest all this. So don't get this, don't become ugly whenever you face struggle. You see, whenever you become ugly with people and with yourself and with life and get to cussing folks out and acting all funny, see, you got a false faith. Your faith is really weak. You know what I'm saying? Your devotion and commitment to Allah is really weak. Because as soon as you face difficulty, or as soon as difficulty presents itself, something that you didn't sign up for, then here you go. You get all ugly, you get all crooked, you get all devilish and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying this here. Learn to reprogram your mind. Unlearn and relearn. Reprogram your mind about the way you perceive difficulty and struggle. It's the time for you to prove who you say you are. It's the time for you to represent your claim. You know what I'm saying? We always want to represent our claim when somebody disrespect us. We want to show who we are when we feel like somebody disrespecting us, or treating our kids a certain way, or handling our money a certain way, right? No, but it's time to represent who you are too. To Allah. Show yourself at Allah that I'm here, I'm for real. I know I'm going through it. Like the prophet Job, when he went through all he went through, he ain't flipping fold. That's the example, and so many others, right? But anyway, we just have to change the way we perceive struggle, the way we deal with it, and shift our perspective and embrace it, man. It's a part of living. It's a part of living. Struggle is a part of living, and we have to learn how to find joy, gratification in the process of struggle. It's all about shifting the way we look at it. We got to be able to find joy in the process of struggle, knowing that it's a preparation for something greater than what you presently possess. It's so much involved. It's so much involved that when you're going through something, it's for you as well as those who are affected by it, those that witness it. You see, we are all leaders and examples in ways that we don't even always understand. And just the smallest things encourages others to deal with life and the vicissitudes of life like you do, whether it be you circumvent and run around the difficulties and struggle, or whether you meet the struggle head on. It's time to represent it. So don't let these difficult times and all that we hear in the media have you terrified and fear of loss and all this craziness. Because you see, you can't operate on your highest level if you're afraid. You know what I'm saying? If you're afraid and if you worry, that's also a testimony of your faith and where you stand. So get out of that, man. You know, and one of the things that I was thinking about, you know, when people pass, that's also a struggle to deal with it, right? We hate to see people go. You know, if we locked up, we hate to see people make parole. If we in college, we hate to see people go home. You know what I'm saying? If people come visit us from out of town that we truly love them, sometimes we hate to see them go. You know, sometimes we ready on them to go, right? But sometimes we hate to see them go. You see, but we that's a selfish thing, and we have to identify and hold ourselves accountable, because that's very important in this process of alleviating, eradicating disappointments and stress and drama out of your life. At the same time, whenever you get rid of all those obstacles, peace lie right on the other side of it. Peace lie right on the other side. As you remove it, you're attaining more peace every time. So anyway, I hope that what I said was able to encourage and build and make somebody, or bring somebody a little bit closer to where they desire to be with themselves in life. Peace and blessings.